I think we're quite close to digital superintelligence. If it doesn't happen this year, next year for sure.
Digital superintelligence, an AI smarter than any human, arriving within the next 18 months. That's the stunning prediction from Elon Musk. It sounds like science fiction, but to understand why the man behind Tesla, SpaceX, and now XAI believes this is our reality, we need to go back. Before he was launching rockets or building robot armies, he was just a young engineer who couldn't even get a job.
I didn't actually at first intend to start a company. I tried to get a job at Netscape. I sent my resume into Netscape, and Mark Andreessen knows about this. And but I don't think he ever saw my resume. And then nobody responded. So and then I tried hanging out in the lobby of Netscape to see if I could like bump into someone, but I was like too shy to talk to anyone. So I'm like, man, this is ridiculous. So I'll just write software myself and see how it goes.
Rejected and too shy to network, Musk started his first company, Zip2, in 1995. His goal wasn't to build something great, but simply something useful. The beginnings were anything but glamorous. He and his brother couldn't afford an apartment, so they slept in their tiny office and showered at the local YMCA. He personally wrote the code for what became one of the first online maps and directories. The company was eventually sold for over $300 million, a huge sum at the time. But the experience taught him a crucial lesson. Their investors and board members from legacy media companies constrained their technology, forcing them to make decisions that didn't make sense for the new internet age. This lesson in maintaining control over a company's vision would shape all of his future endeavors. He realized that to truly innovate, you couldn't be shackled by old ways of thinking. He had to be free to pursue his main quest.
There's like, say, the beach is dirty and there's like some needles and feces and like trash and you want to clean up the beach. But then there's also this like 1,000-foot wall of water, which is a tsunami of AI. Like, and how much does cleaning the beach really matter if you got a 1,000-foot tsunami about to hit? Not that much.
For Musk, that tsunami is the most important thing happening in the world. After a brief but intense side quest dealing with politics, he refocused on what he calls his main quest, building technology. He believes that engineering and physics are rigorous judges. Unlike politics, you can't fool math. Your hardware either works or it doesn't. This mindset, a demand for a maximally truth-seeking environment, is the foundation of his approach. He sees the development of AI not just as another business venture, but as a civilization-level event that dwarfs almost every other problem we face. It's this sense of urgency and scale that drove him from the world of software into the far more unforgiving world of hardware, starting with a question about a planet 140 million miles away.
And then after PayPal, I was like, well, I was kind of curious as to why we had not sent anyone to Mars. And I went on the NASA website to find out when we're sending people to Mars, and there was no date. I thought maybe it was just hard to find on the website, but in fact, there was no real plan to send people to Mars.
This simple observation sparked the creation of SpaceX. After selling his next company, PayPal, Musk had the capital to pursue his passions. But he didn't initially intend to start a rocket company. His first idea was a philanthropic mission called Life to Mars, aiming to send a small greenhouse to the red planet to inspire the public. To get there, he traveled to Russia in 2001, trying to buy decommissioned ICBMs. When the Russians kept raising the price, he had a realization. The problem wasn't a lack of will to go to Mars. It was that the technology was too expensive. So he decided to start SpaceX to fundamentally advance rocket technology. The press ridiculed him. They called him the internet guy trying to build rockets, a venture where every previous startup had failed. And they were almost right. The first 3 launches of his Falcon rocket failed. By 2008, both SpaceX and his other bet, Tesla, were on the brink of bankruptcy. He had one last shot. The 4th launch had to work. It did. And on Christmas Eve of 2008, in the final hour of the final day possible, Tesla secured the funding it needed to survive. He had bet everything and won by the skin of his teeth. How did he succeed where everyone else failed? Musk credits a mental framework he calls first principles thinking. Instead of reasoning by analogy, doing something because it's how it has always been done, he breaks problems down to their most fundamental truths. For rockets, he didn't look at what other rockets cost. He calculated the raw material cost of the aluminum, copper, and carbon fiber. He found the materials were only 1 to 2% of the final price, proving that manufacturing was incredibly inefficient and ripe for disruption. This is his superpower. He applies it to everything, including building the massive AI supercomputer for XAI. When told it would take 24 months, he broke the problem down. He needed a building, power, and cooling. He found an old factory, rented generators and a quarter of the US's mobile cooling capacity, and used Tesla battery packs to smooth out the power. He did the impossible in 6 months by refusing to accept no and reasoning from the ground up. His advice to aspiring builders is built on this foundation. Try to be as useful as possible, smash your ego to keep a clear feedback loop with reality, and do whatever it takes, no matter how humble the task.
I think we're quite close to digital superintelligence. It may happen this year, and if it doesn't happen this year, next year for sure. A digital superintelligence defined as smarter than any human at anything.
This brings us back to his prediction. Musk sees the path to superintelligence as another engineering problem, governed by clear principles. He believes the scaling laws of AI still hold, but we're running out of high-quality, human-generated data to train them. The next frontier is creating vast amounts of reliable, synthetic data. At the same time, he's building armies of humanoid robots like Optimus, which will act as AI's hands and legs in the physical world. For years, he was hesitant, worried about creating a Terminator scenario. But he realized the technology was coming whether he built it or not. He concluded it was better to be a participant than a spectator to help steer this powerful force in a positive direction. Ultimately, all of Musk's quests, AI, robotics, and space travel, are intertwined. He is troubled by the Fermi paradox. In a vast universe, why haven't we seen any signs of alien life? He fears it may be because intelligent life is incredibly rare, like a tiny candle in a vast darkness. His overarching goal is to protect that candle. Becoming a multiplanetary species is the insurance policy, ensuring the survival of consciousness even if something catastrophic happens on Earth. He believes that in the next 30 years, we can establish a self-sustaining city on Mars. This isn't just about exploration. It's about creating a forcing function to improve space travel, eventually allowing consciousness to expand to the stars. His final message to the engineers building this future is simple but profound. Be useful, and above all, build AI with a rigorous adherence to the truth, because in his view, that is the most important safeguard for the future of humanity. What do you think of Elon's vision for the future? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe to Tech2Go for more summaries of big ideas.